weekly planning, which is the second ritual of a productivity warrior. So, if you remember, the first ritual is capturing everything on a master list, doing a brain dump and capture everything, and then being able to prioritize so that you know what your priorities are. And the second ritual is weekly planning. And so, weekly planning is mainly focused on the second pillar of productivity, which is managing your time. You've got 168 hours in the week, and you now are going to decide how you want to use them. Why is it important? This is where you get some control of your time. You set some boundaries around what you want to do at that time, and importantly, also what you don't want to spend your time on. Because if you're not proactive, then you tend to go into a week in a reactive state with little or no plan. And so decisions are made for you, priorities are set for you, rather than you being consciously engaged and prioritizing what's important for you. Okay, so when's a good time to do that? At the end of your work week, normally that's a Friday afternoon for most people. The reason for that is you're still in work mode. You can look back on what you've got done. You've probably got your master list there and you're updating it. And so you can look at the next week what your priorities are, and also, really importantly, give other people ample notice of changes to your plan and give yourself ample time to plan meetings and everything else ahead. Okay, where should you do it? Away from your work desk, probably a nice quiet spot with a coffee, somewhere you enjoy being. You're much more likely to do this if it's something that's a nice ritual. So make it as nice as possible and do it in a nice quiet spot, one of your favorite spots with a cup of coffee or something like that. Okay, and how do you do it? Okay, well let's jump into the steps. Okay, so we're going to use a weekly canvas called a magical weekly canvas, and the magical is an acronym. I'll bring you through now really quickly. M is for mission. So what's your mission for next week? Usually it's something that you want to achieve, but it might be something that you want to enjoy or some loose ends that you want to tie up. But having a sense of mission is really powerful. So what's your mission for the week? A is for accomplishments. What are the 5 or 6 goals? Typically they link to your mission. What are the 5 or 6 goals that you have that you're going to use your spare time to accomplish? G is for growth. That's basically any improvements you want to make on last week. So right now, if you're just doing this weekly planning for the first time, you might just want to get better at planning. Inspiration is just something you enjoy or going to raise your energy. Might be a podcast, might be an ocean swim, might be doing more exercise. Anything that's going to inspire you, jot that in there. C is for connection. So this is basically people, meetings, any calls you want to make, people who will help you achieve your goals or people who might need your help. So that's just connecting out to people. So make a list of the people you want to call or contact or meet. Admin is any loose ends, really small little tasks like you got to fix something, or you got to pay a bill, or you got to invoice somebody, or you got to do the shopping, anything like that. Just get it out of your head onto the piece of paper. And then last but not least is leisure. And that's there for a reason. Obviously, the focus is on being productive, but part of being productive, or one of the reasons to be productive, is so we can enjoy ourselves. So it's always good to plan in some fun and some leisure activities. So we're going to do that as part of this weekly planning as well. All right, so how to plan a week. These are the 4 things you need. You need your diary, you need your master list, which is all the things in a priority order. You need this blank weekly canvas and a pen, and the checklist or the steps you go through. We're going to bring you through now. Block out your rituals, accept meetings, confirm how many hours you have left, prioritize what demand you're going to put on your time, commit to it, and then just jot down all the loose ends, the lists, and leisure. That's in the time remaining. Okay, so step 1, block out rituals. So a ritual is a repeated activity that's rarely compromised. So the easiest example is sleep. So block out your hours that you're asleep. Block out your morning routine if you go to the gym, or if you meditate, or if you just spend an hour waking up, then block that out. And you're not available. In this example, it shows you're not available until 7 o'clock. But block out whatever time you want, and then you have other rituals during the day, your breakfast or your commute, lunch. If you want to block out half an hour to do admin and calls, a break in the mid-afternoon, anything like that. And obviously your evening routine, if that's your own, just block all that time out. They are times that you're not going to be working, and you're not going to plan any leisure. They're just gone. You'll notice here on Friday at 4 o'clock, I have a weekly ritual from 4 to 5 blocked out. And so if this weekly planning you choose that it's something that you want to try, then you should decide when and where it's going to be and block it out right now. And that becomes one of your rituals. Okay, so you blocked out your rituals. You have a certain amount of time left. Step 2 is to accept meetings. And this is about just consciously accepting or rejecting the meetings that are in your diary. So you need to look at them again. You may have accepted them while you were rushing around. And now, again, this is about controlling and making a conscious decision on what the best use of your time is. So accept the meetings that you want to or need to go to. Again, just confirm them, leave them in your diary, create any new ones you need to schedule. And if you can, or if it's appropriate, have a conversation with anyone who's organised a meeting that you are not going to attend. Okay, so a lot of people will say they don't have time, but be conscious and take control back by saying it's not a priority for you, or you have other priorities, and then take that meeting out of your diary if it's appropriate. Okay, so just here it's about consciously accepting meetings to align with your own goals or with team goals. So this is not about just not going to meetings that you don't want to go to. It's about being conscious about the ones that you do go to and the ones that you don't. So at the end of this step, you'll have blocked out or accepted certain meetings that are shown here in red. And so your time, your white space in between rituals and meetings is, as you can see, reducing. So this is a checkpoint now, step 3, to check your capacity. How many hours do you have left to achieve your goals? Okay, so this is just an example using Monday to Friday, 40-hour week kind of example. But on Monday here, you see at the top, I've got 3 hours. So I'm just counting the significant white space, 1, 2, 3. Tuesday is the same, 1, 2, 3. Wednesday, I've got about an hour in the afternoon. Those little gaps between meetings are probably not worth counting. So I think of an hour on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday, 2 hours on Friday, totaling 12 hours. All of a sudden, 40 hours has become 12. Okay, so 12 hours to set some goals for. So what can I do in 12 hours? Well, I've looked at my master list. I've got my top 5 priorities, the big goals for next week, and I estimate how long it's going to take me to get each one done. So my most important one, I reckon it'll take me 2 hours, then 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, and that adds up to 11 hours. So that looks like a realistic week. I should not and I won't plan any more than about 10 or 11 hours. I've got 12 hours spare. It always takes longer, so it's not realistic for me to plan anything else. Yes, you can add a number 6 as a bonus if you get to it, but my number 5 here is I think I'll get to it, but I may not. Okay, so make sure you've done that thinking and it's realistic. Your demand must be less than your capacity. You need to leave some wiggle room because it always takes longer. Okay, so keep refining your demand here and your capacity until the demand is less than capacity. If you don't have enough time, then you either need to reduce what goals you're setting, or you need to find some more time and move meetings around to create capacity. It's that simple, and it's quite common for people to have a big long list going into the week, which is never possible. And then there's nothing worse on a Friday beating yourself up, or saying the week got away from you when it was never possible in the first place. So this makes it much more likely that you'll be able to achieve what you need to achieve if you do this thinking in a nice, calm, quiet place before you go into execution mode, as they say, during the week. Okay, so step 5 is to commit, right? So once you have realistic goals, you actually look at, okay, when am I likely to do this? So your first most important task you should always try and do first on the Monday, okay? And if that's a thinking task, people tend to be more mentally alert in the morning between 9 and 12. So try and keep white space, significant white space and time between 10 and 12 in the morning, if that's the way your body clock works and you're mentally alert during that time, and do the hard stuff. So you can see here, I've got number 1 and 2 in the morning on Monday and Tuesday. Number 3 is something creative, 2 hours. I'm going to do that Monday and Tuesday afternoon, and everything is scheduled into the white space pretty much. And as much as possible, you want to try and front load, so you're planning to finish by midday Friday, because as I said, everything takes longer. But if you can't fit it in here, then you need to revisit what your goals are, and really make sure that it looks realistic on paper. Okay, so you've committed now. Your diary is pretty much full, and then the last step is just to jot down any lists, any people you need to email, any calls you need to make, any meetings you need to schedule, any admin, and then leisure. Last but not least, leisure. If you've got free time on Saturday, Sunday, or any time during the week, put in what who you want to meet. Maybe you want to go for a bike ride with a friend. Maybe you want to go for a swim by yourself. Maybe you've got some friends over for a barbecue. Maybe you enjoy that Sunday roast with your family every Sunday, that sort of thing. But put some green onto the canvas, and make sure that you're also enjoying yourself and spending time with your friends and family. So that is your completed weekly plan, with all your rituals, meetings, your big goals, your little tasks, and fun and games. And if you can do this, you're more likely to have a good week, a magical week, and you'll have it more often if you think ahead and try and get some control back. It doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect week. It takes time to practice this. This is raising awareness of how you spend your time, and if you keep doing it, you'll realize where you're wasting time, where you can find time, and also where you're not spending time on things that you prioritize. So best of luck with it. Schedule in that time on a Friday at Friday afternoon at a time that suits, in a nice place, and give it a go and let me know how you go. All right, good luck.